The second day of the first test of the Border Gavaskar Trophy between India and Australia was a much better day even than the first for India, because now they're in a truly commanding and dominating position. And yes, it's understandable that a lot of people would focus on Rohit Sharma's 100 or the fact that Ravindra Jadeja, after getting a fifer in the first innings, has now gotten a 50 and is still unbeaten so far, at least in the first innings. But another man who did really well and would have actually flown under the radar a tad, considering just how much star power this team has, was this man right here, Axar Patel. Now, Axar, again, there were some doubts as to whether or not he would start, but he was given the nod ahead of someone like, say, Kuldeep Yadav, as India chose to go with 3 spinners. And Axar with the ball didn't really do a lot. With the bat, his half century, and he and Jadeja still remain unbeaten as things stand on stumps at day 2. Did in fact put India in a very, very good position. And after the match ended, after the end of the day's play, Axar spoke to the host broadcasters, revealed a few interesting things about how it is that he'd been working on his batting, what it is that he does, what was it that the game plan was between him and Jadeja, and how it is that they plan on approaching the game as it goes forward. So that's some interesting things. I picked out a few things which I thought to discuss with you guys. So without further ado, let's just check in. First off, he talks about, of course, his improved batting, and that's been something of a revelation for a lot of people. And he says that, look, I always knew that my technique was good. I work on it with the coaching staff whenever I get a break. They tell me that I have the ability, so I try to contribute. Now, this is an interesting thing which he says. He said that, look, I always knew my technique was good, but in recent years, Axar had become more of a bowling all-rounder rather than someone who would contribute, and his contributions to the bat were considered as secondary. Now, though, again, if you're looking at it across formats, even against Sri Lanka and New Zealand, he was doing relatively well with the bat. His bowling has never really been in question. In fact, many would say that his style of bowling does lend itself to getting plenty of wickets, so that was never a problem. But his batting, and again, most people thought, great, he's had a revival in white ball cricket. Can he continue that sort of form in test cricket? That was something that many people had some doubts over. He's answered all of those doubts in resounding style, and in fact, he's explained how that is the case. He's worked very hard and continued to work hard on his batting, and what we saw out there reflected the results of that. Now, that of course wasn't the only other major thing he talked about. He also did mention about the pitch, and the pitch of course was a major talking point before the match, but as it's gone on, it's become pretty clear that it hasn't really been as much of a minefield as most people were expecting. In fact, while it does have spin, it isn't impossible to bat on. So this is what he had to say. He said that, look, when you go into bat, we initially found some difficulty on that pitch, but it gets easier after spending some time. The talk with Jadeja in the middle was to not lose focus. So the two things which he mentions here is that, okay, it wasn't an easy pitch by any stretch of the imagination, but spend some time out there, you do figure out how it is that you can score runs. And most importantly, when he's talking about what it is that he was speaking with Jadeja, because again, remember, him and Jadeja are from the same state. They would have actually played, a lot of cricket together even prior to this, even prior to internationally. He did mention that, our aim was, look, we just kept talking and said, let's not lose focus. That was the important part. And truth be told, you could tell that was something that worked out really, really well for them, because, well, they didn't lose focus. They still remain at the crease and will resume day 3 together, and hopefully can give India a lead in excess of 150, 200 or even more, because again, it seems unlikely that India will declare, so the onus really is on the Aussies to get them out. But to do that, first they'll have to get past this man, Axar, as well as Ravindra Jadeja potentially. Now, that being kept in mind, of course, Axar is, as I said, he's someone who's of course looking to contribute with both the bat and ball. He's done his part with the bat, but he is also eagerly waiting for his chance to contribute with the ball. In fact, when he was asked about what his game plan was afterwards, he stressed on something that, truth be told, both him and Jadeja had been doing in the first innings. This is what he said. He said that, look, till the time that we bat on the, we being me and Axar and Jadeja, the pitch will hopefully play well. And when we get the chance to bowl, we'll find help. Now, that's a very interesting thing to say, because again, as he says, it shows that they have in fact done something of a reading of the pitch, and they figure that, look, right now is probably the best time to be batting, and when we do get a chance to finally bowl, that is the time that we'll be able to find some help. And Again, this would of course reflect very poorly on the Australians, because despite the fact that on the first day it was kind of tough to bat, you would have expected more from them, and in fact had they dug in, they would have been able to enjoy similar batting conditions that the Indians are right now. But you know how it is with a spinning pitch, it will eventually start turning and gripping a lot more. So as Axar said, the plan is that until the pitch really plays out well, we want to keep batting, and then once it's our turn to bowl again, we're sure that we'll be able to find help on that pitch. Hopefully Axar can actually contribute with the ball as well as he has with the bat, at least in the first innings. Come the second innings, he'll be chomping at the bits, and the dustier a pitch gets, the more it is very much in Akshar's wheelbarrow. Again, he's done really well in test matches in India on dust bowls. He's his basic style of spin, where he'll often look to just keep it stump to stump, keep it simple, consistently hit the same lines. It's worked wonders for him, especially on pitches that offer turns. So that is it from us on this particular video. Thank you all so much for joining us. Let us know in the comments if you've been impressed with Akshar's turnaround as a batsman and all-rounder, whether or not you're expecting more for him in the second innings. Also, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, tap the bell icon so you know when we're going live or uploading a new video, and also don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Last but not least, don't forget to download the AajTak app. Thank you all once again for joining us in this video. I hope you enjoyed what it is that we brought. If you're on the channel right now, please don't forget to check out some other videos that we've done. For now though, from my side, goodbye.